Damn.
My name is Nawal Gurung and I'm a sports therapist.
Nawal Gurung, who is an ex-semi-professional football player and a former captain of Sahara UK football team, currently works with Fulham Football Club as a sports therapist and a coach. He recently qualified for UEFAB coaching license, which is a professional coaching license from UEFA, an official governing body for European football. As an ex-player, coach and physiotherapist, Nawal has worked with local teams both in England and in Nepal. He was a player and a coach for the Himalayan Sherpa club and also worked as a physiotherapist for Nepal's under-22 national team. But Nawal is more than just a footballer, coach or physiotherapist. He says his passion for football is bigger than him, and he is constantly motivated by his passion and determination to inspire others, not just in football, but also outside of football. Enjoy this exclusive talk with Nawal and find out why he thinks we need more celebrities like Priyanka Karke in Nepal.
Damn.
This is the Inspire Nepal show. I'm your host Dinesh. This show is actually sponsored by Team Madesire. As you can see, I'm wearing their t-shirt. It's a very cool t-shirt, so if you want to go check them out, just go onto their YouTube channel or Facebook. I'll put the link on the comment section below. We have today a very interesting guy. He's an ex-semi-professional footballer. He's also a coach. He actually is a sports physiotherapist for Fulham FC. Nawal, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dinesh.
How does it feel to be on this set?
It feels good.
Yeah?
I watched some of the previous interviews you guys did, and
Yeah.
they're all inspiring people as well. So, privileged to be here, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've heard that you just did your UEFAB coaching badge.
Yeah.
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 When did you actually qualify for that?
So it's quite a long process.
Yeah.
You've got to go and do the course, come back, do some work, and then go back. So it's probably about a year long process, and just certified a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Was that something you thought about doing before? Was that a goal for you?
It was in my to-do list. I wouldn't say it was a goal. My end goal is to inspire Nepal. That's why I'm here. I feel like I share the same goal as you guys. But my process is coaching, okay, therapy, or the strength and conditioning. So I don't feel like a coach is a goal. I don't think an occupation or a profession is a goal as such. It's a process to your goal.
Yeah. Give me some example. What would you mean?
So I'll give you an example where we can all relate to in the Nepalese community. So during Christmas, when I was on social media, and Priyanka Karke is in town right now, right? So everyone knows her.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was on Facebook Live, and she was someone had asked her a question saying, "Oh, will you ever get married again?" or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a personal question, and she said, "Listen, man, I might get married one day, but us as females are more than someone who's just going to get married. We're more than just a housewife."
Yeah.
Right? And we know her. She's a model and an actress and a dancer, but her end goal is actually to empower women.
I see.
Do you know what I'm saying? So her process is
Acting and modeling.
right, but her end vision is empowerment. Empowering girls, to say to them that, hey, we can do so much more than just be in the kitchen.
Exactly.
We're bigger than that, and we can aspire to bigger things. So can you see how her vision is empowerment?
Yeah.
Right, and that's I would say is mine. My vision is inspire Nepal, inspire a change in Nepal.
Is that through football?
Yeah, that might be my process,
Mm.
and it looks like it so far.
Mm.
So another great example, right? And you guys seen the film Dangal? It's that Bollywood movie that's out right now.
Dongo? No, I haven't seen it.
It's by Amir Khan.
Okay.
Okay, so
Is that a new movie, right?
it's a new
Where
movie.
He's like an old man, and then he.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about a wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not giving the movie away here, but one of my favorite bit in that movie is, you know, his daughter at the end of the movie, like she's about to fight this Russian lady in the finals,
Mm.
and she said, "What's my strategy, Dad? Like for the fight against Russia?"
Yeah.
And Amir Khan says, "You're not fighting against Russia. You're fighting for all the girls back home in India who don't have a voice. You're fighting for all the men that think that women should be in the kitchen.
Mm.
You're fighting for all the people that laughed at you when you were playing sports.
Yeah.
Your fight's not against Russia." You know, can you see how, like, so people who watch that movie might think the theme was about wrestling. It wasn't. Again, it's inspire a change.
Mm.
Empower girls.
Yeah. So there was a vision that was greater than actually the wrestling itself. That wrestling was just a means or process, like you said. Yeah. Yeah. We'll come back to that, but let's quickly talk about your past experiences. I know you played for Sahara FC and you were a captain as well.
Yeah.
What was it like being a captain for Sahara FC?
Like, I think being a captain of Sahara was almost like representing the Nepalese footballers in England.
Mm.
Because Sahara FC, we had players from Plumstead, from Reading, from Farnborough, Aldershot, Kent, all over like England,
Yeah.
representing one Nepalese team. So it was an honour. And again, like, Sahara's got a beautiful message, is, have football accessible to anyone.
Okay.
So back home in Nepal, Sahara UK have like an hostel for orphan boys, and they get to play football. So again, our process is football, but our message is like have football accessible to everybody.
Yeah. Give opportunities to more kids.
Yeah, yeah. So it's I that's why I think goals aren't just like a profession or something. And if that works for other people, then great. But that's.
Yeah, I mean, you played for some amazing clubs. I heard that you did trials for Tottenham, Aston Villa, those clubs.
Yeah, I had like trials for them
Yeah.
when I was very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. I just wanted to know, how does your journey begin in football? Like, how young were you?
I think I was about 6, 7.
6, 7.
Yeah.
And you were in the UK?
I was in the UK, yeah.
Yeah. And who was your inspiration at that moment for you? Like, was there any player that really, really, was a role model for you?
If I'm honest, back then, obviously we didn't have all the social media access.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm honest, one person who inspired me the most to play football was probably my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, even though there was no social media, but we used to watch World Cups and things like that, and we used to talk about Maradona or those days, Pele from Brazil, and we we used to have this weird rumor that Pele was he was so strong that he could actually kill a goalkeeper with his shoot in the penalty shootout.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or not.
I had so much rumors.
I know, but obviously you've been playing since young age, right? Did you actually have a coaching, formal coaching?
Yeah, I was lucky. I got to play with under a lot of good coaches, and a lot of bad ones too. Yeah. My father had a big role.
Okay.
My father
was he a football player?
He was. Yeah, he played in the army. They have a prestigious tournament called the Nepal Cup.
Yeah.
And he had won that. So yeah, and I've ancestors like grandfathers and all that. They played football.
Yeah.
So I think it's been in the blood.
Yeah, and you also went to Nepal to play for a club called Himalayan Sherpa?
Yeah, no, I went there initially as an intern coach.
Yeah.
Okay, and just so happens when I got there, our head coach got the job for the national team. So there was a position, and they gave it to me after like a day, and I took over. I took over as the head coach, and we got to some tournaments where, you know, you didn't have to be affiliated in the league or something, so I could actually play as well, and I ended up playing as well as a player manager. So.
And what was the experience like? I mean, you played for team in the UK, but actually going to Nepal and actually to be able to coach and play with the Nepalese player, was that a different experience?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. So, I mean, it is what it is. Over there, you don't have the facilities. You know, you don't have the sports science that Europe teams have now. But one thing you can't take away is the emotions that these boys drive into their sports. And now I've started to realise that that's probably the number one thing you need. You know, a player without an emotion in his profession, her profession, I don't know, it lacks something. It's a bit soulless. But these boys have a true, you know, desire.
Nepalese people are very passionate about football.
They are incredibly, incredibly, but this is another message I would like to, you know, tell the boys back home, because they think they don't have everything, right? But some of the best creators in our world, some of the best, like some of the most successful people, have come through a lot of adversity. They've come from adverse situations. You see, so like it, you know, even if they don't have nothing, that shouldn't be a limitation to their end result.
Yeah, it's funny. On our way here, you were talking about how some of the Nepalese are like so passionate that one of the guys actually came to the wedding wearing Manchester United jersey.
I was invited to a wedding.
Yeah,
and I was wearing a suit, and there's one boy wearing a Man United t-shirt.
Yeah,
and to me it showed like, right, this is a big occasion, and for him that was his best outfit, and I was quite impressed.
Yeah, I mean, we had a long talk earlier. You shared a little bit about your experience in Nepal and how initially you weren't able to win, like, you know, the tournaments, and then you had like some negative backlash from media. Yeah,
so I was appointed Himalayan Sherpa, well-respected team in Nepal, you know, and I was appointed a head coach of them at a time where our best players had gone to international duties, so they had gone, and there was also a transition where players were out of contract, and so I had a young team. Some of them didn't actually have experience playing like in the national league out there, and so we got to, you know, these few tournaments and playing against some big teams, and we lost. We lost one tournament in semi-finals, and Go Nepal, like, they publish a lot of things, and they're doing a great job out there. And I had a lot of comments saying, "Oh, we should sack this guy. His European style's not going to work out here. You know, he's too young." I was about 28, you know, when I was out there. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's hard not to take it personal, you know, because you do doubt yourself. And I remember. After that semi-final loss, I was lying in my hotel room thinking, this thing, coaching stuff, is not for me. You know, it's I'm not cut out for it. You know, and I think I'm going to take the flight back home. I'll ring my chairman and say, look, you know, I tried my best, but I'm going to go back. And so that I'm a big reader, and that night I was reading a book, and as you know, like they were quoting Genghis Khan. Right, I'm not sure this is the best person to quote, but there was a story about when Genghis Khan was leading his army to another land, and they were on a boat, and he said, "Look, everyone come off the boat, and we have to go and fight the opposition." And he said he'll be the last one off the boat. So when everyone got off, like, these soldiers could smell fire, and they turned around, and the boat is on fire. And anyway, they went and won that little battle, But the soldiers went up to Genghis Khan and said, "Why did you burn the boat?" And he said, "It's because I didn't want you to have a plan B. When things got tough and you knew there was an easy option to go back on the boat, I know you would take the easy option." So when I was in the hotel room, I was thinking, God, my easy option is go back to England, right? The real battle is out here, being, in the trenches with these boys. So we went into the next tournament and we won it, So, but there was that transition where I could have taken the easy option.
Okay, cool. We're gonna actually take a short break and we'll come back right after the break. All right?
Cool.
Damn.
Welcome back to the Inspire Nepal show. I'm your host Dinesh, and we have Nawal Gurung on the show today. We're talking about your coaching experience and your football experience as well. Now, how do you handle pressure on the pitch? I mean, as being a captain, you have more responsibility than any other people out there. So how do you handle that pressure when you're playing the big game, especially?
It's a good question because each game has its own different pressures, and so one pressure is like your limiting beliefs. Are we going to do it, and are we good enough, and all the insecurities that come out, but you can't lose your true vision. What's my end result, and when you stick to that, then you can choose the higher over the lower, easy, and not just as a captain. Anything in life, when we go out to do something, you'll see all these insecurities come out, and then you go, okay, what's my end result? What's my vision I'm trying to create here? Yeah. And you have to choose the higher one over the lower. And so constantly stay tuned to your end result.
Is that where you draw your motivation and inspiration from? Just looking at your end result, your higher vision. Is that normal?
Yeah. That I think that has to be the driver. That's why, for me, when I go to work, I know my end result is to inspire Nepal. So I'm not actually just going to work. You can see a lot of people who don't actually have a true vision, and then work gets boring for them. Then it's Monday, but I bet people who've got a higher message in life, I don't think they feel like that when they go to work.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they are into a certain profession and they don't have vision that's higher than that profession. That they just do the profession to get the money so that they can actually make a living, buy a house, buy the car. But that's their primary goals, and they don't seem to have a goal that's bigger than that, and that's why a lot of people get stuck into, and have stress and depression and.
Maybe. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting a house and
there's nothing wrong with that.
Ride, but surely, life has to be a little bit more than that.
Yeah. So you were playing for all these clubs and Sahara, captain, and going to Nepal and coaching and things like that, and then at some point in your life you had injuries and you had operations. Can you talk me through that period? How did you cope with that? How did you feel?
So I had a hernia operation, sportsman's hernia, and these things will basically take you out of doing what you love, So it's not so much the injury that you're down about. You're actually down about the fact that you can't actually do something you love and enjoy so much. So you take that out of someone's life. It's I would say it was some of my darkest days, like these injuries. And
were you out for quite long?
It was almost a general affair with me getting injured.
Okay.
And if it wasn't a stress fracture, it was chronic back pain and new shoes. So, and these things led me to go down the therapy route, which now I almost think it was almost a negative vision. It was like, oh, I'm tired of getting injured, so I'm going to go and do something that helps me not get injured. And so some people would say, oh, that took you to the path, but there's something in me that says, it's not a true indicator of what you love. So just because you don't like to do something, then you go and do the opposite. You see, right? So it's not I don't think it was a true reflection of what I love, but it helped me like connect the dots to my end result, because looking after the body, making sure people don't get injured, your players don't get injured and stuff, is a huge part of performance. And so like now I can see like where coaching and because I'm a strength and conditioning coach as well, and the therapy, like the dots connect together.
Yeah, I love how you said the dots connect together. Have you heard the Steve Jobs the memorial whatever speech? And he said, looking forward, I couldn't connect the dots, but looking back, now I can connect the dots. So I think you being injured and then studying sports medicine and being a coach in sports therapy, I think that was something that it led you to you actually achieving your bigger vision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
When did you actually decide, like, okay, I'm through with playing football, I'm actually going to focus now on the sports medicine side or the coaching and sports therapy?
I think kind of happened organically, if I'm honest. I don't think there's a part of me that never wanted to stop playing football.
Okay.
Right, so I wanted to be associated with football somehow, one way or another. And now looking back into it, my main quest was for high performance, and what it takes to become an amazing football player. I think that was my main quest, and just diving into that deeper and deeper and deeper has probably led me into the position where I am, because I thought it was all about fitness, and then got fit and actually not really changed as a football player. Then I thought it was about strength, and then I thought it was about being aligned properly, and then I realised that actually it's a combination of all that. So
that's how professional football players improve themselves, right? They have a team of coach and therapists, and everyone is giving them advice as to how to balance these aspects. Fitness,
very true.
Skills.
Very, very true. And I think people from the outside world will probably think that, to be successful, you have to do it on your own. And a really, really smart man once said to me, he said, do you know what happens to lonely wolves in the winter? And they die. That's why the wolves, they stick together. And so like, it's, don't be a lone wolf. That would be my suggestion to these young footballers. Like, maybe have a good, circle of friends or a good team behind you.
There's this saying, I don't know if I remember this properly, but it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, get
go
a team.
Together.
Yeah. But what, let's go back to your sports therapy that you're working as at the moment. What is it like to work for Fulham FC, which is one of the biggest, big clubs in the UK? What was like the experience working for them?
It really is like a dream job for me, and what makes it better is like the environment and the people who you're working with. What I've experienced is people who are getting or achieving to go to the highest levels are very humble people. They help you. They help to take you up with them. Yeah. And I kind of like that professional environment, like the detail they put into things. It really excites me. So I know I'm very fortunate.
Okay, so you do coaching on the grass level, and then
also foundation
level, and then you do sports therapy, strength and conditioning, and all that, right? So it's all part of your role. Okay. Do professional footballers, do they have a very specific diet?
Nutrition is important. I've come to the conclusion that nutrition makes average players into really good players, and good players into great players. But here's the thing: is your nutrition, your lifestyle should be driven by your end result. So these boys are really focused about being a professional football player, and that's the reason why they make diet changes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So I think I think previous historically speaking, a lot of football players never took their diet into account, and paid the price later in life. And I think anyone achieving high end result will realize that energy is quite important. And so I don't think it's just professional footballers that see the value in nutrition and stuff. A lot of people who are trying to master a few things in life have got their lifestyle sorted, they've got their family life sorted, they've got their professional life sorted. So I think nutrition is important in all aspects of life.
Okay. So you've coached in the UK, you've coached in Nepal. What is the role of the coach? Is it just to train the guys, make them better? How important is coaching?
It's a good question, because I think the role of a coach will depend on each coach's philosophy. But I can see what you mean. Once you become the coach, now you can tell people off, and that's what
10 push-ups.
10 push-ups.
Run a lap.
and that's what people think coaching is.
Yeah.
I was at a seminar, and one of the most powerful men that I've ever come across gave a really good example. So the CEO of Google is some South Indian guy called Sunar Pindar or something, Pichai or something. And the vice president of Google went up to him and said, listen, what can I do to take my game to another level? And the CEO of Google said, get a coach. Not a football coach, a coach in his field.
Yeah.
And the vice president was lost, and he went back home, and I think he spoke to his wife, and he was like, why do I need a coach? I've got this on my own so far, and he was confused. So he went back the next day and he told the CEO of Google and said, why did you tell me that? Why did you tell me to get a coach? And he said, it's because we can't see our own bullshit. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
And so I think my role as a coach is to help people see what they can't see. You see?
Yeah.
And there's all different aspects, but of roles. There's that you have to motivate, and everybody knows.
I guess everyone has, all the top athletes and some of the greatest achiever in any field. All of them have a coach or mentor. Even Bill Gates. He's got a mentor.
CEO of Google has a coach.
Yeah.
So if they need a coach, then
exactly
we could do it with a coach.
Yeah, exactly. Let's quickly change the topic. How do you feel about the future of Nepalese football?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
So Go Nepal, they're a Facebook page, and they've got their own website. They're doing a fantastic job about spreading news on what's happening to football, from females to the villages and everything. And they had this one article out the other day, and Anil Gurung, national team player, said, we're national team players, but we're unemployed. And that's the case. And if they're professional footballers, but they're not making any money, it's not professional football.
I see.
Right?
But do you see improvements in the football industry in Nepal over the last few years? Do you see that
there has been an improvement.
Yeah.
We have people like Bimal Gar having trials with a team in Belgium. We have got players going abroad to play football as well. They're getting well recognised. They had some successes in the cups. There has been improvement.
Yeah.
There has been improvement.
What do you think the Nepalese football is lacking in? and how can we like actually take it to the next level? I mean, I did see your interview with on the Padman show, and you mentioned that we have a lot of talented players, but we don't have enough coaches out there.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that?
What I think Nepal could do with our football team is we need a clear end result where we want to be in 10 years' time, and we need a good structure in place to meet that end result. Okay, and maybe the same advice to them: don't be a lone wolf. Get help from other organisations, like the cricket team are doing well, and you know,
they've got money. Well, not the cricket team, right?
Yeah, and just, you know, I'm sure like, you know, other countries will help, or people who are already in a structure that's getting results. Yeah.
And how long do you think it will take for Nepal to be good enough to qualify for a World Cup? I mean, is there a hope?
Yeah, well, that's the dream, I think. That's the dream. No, I don't know. I don't know if I can put a timeline to that. But, you know, I might not even be alive when they get to the World Cup. But, you know, I'll be watching it from wherever I am.
Yeah. You obviously have a lot of knowledge in terms of, you know, your physiotherapy, strength and conditioning, coaching, and even as a player, you've got a lot of experience. Do you have plans to go to Nepal anytime soon and actually help develop players there and, you know, in the overall football?
Well, I feel like I've already done it. Like, I spent 6 months in Nepal, and I spent time with the under-23s out there as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't really need to go to Nepal to help them out. You can be an inspiration from wherever. Like, I think when you have an end result, your true vision, you don't really have, you know, the location is I don't think it's entirely up to you where you decide to do it, because like, let's take Lionel Messi for example, like an amazing football player, but imagine if he wanted to play football in Hawaii. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
He's ended up in Spain, isn't he? Right. So he's Argentinian, and so is he inspiring people in Argentina? Yeah. You know. So I think my growth is important to me. You know. I think I need to learn a little bit more before I can start giving back completely.
That's true, because if you don't have anything to give, you know, then what can you give to people? So make sure you have enough to give to people.
Yes, true.
Let's move quickly to let's move on to like the quick fire questions. So I'm going to fire at you some questions and make sure you answer them. All right?
Let's go.
Who are the 3 best players in Nepal, and why do you think that?
3 best players.
Yeah.
That I've played with, or?
Yeah, that you played with.
Okay. First one is Lok Bandhu Gurung. He actually lives in Plumstead, and he played for Nepal national team.
Right.
Absolute baller. Like, I've been very, very fortunate to be in the same team as him in Sahara, without a question of doubt. One of the if he was born in Nepal, in England, and he lived out here, he would be a professional footballer here. That good, ridiculously good.
Right.
One player that on Sundays, like, I would look on the team sheet if he was playing today or not. Like, if he was in it, then I'd be like happy. Just, I can't believe how good he is. Like,
Who's the other 2?
2 is Bharat Kwas. I played with him in under-23s. Yeah, exceptional talent. Like, single-handedly, like, could win you the game. Yeah, it's that good. I remember against Bangladesh under-23s, our first game. So Nepalese, our national stadium, packed, 40,000 people or more, like absolutely packed. And the national anthem song came on, and I was thinking, God, if we lose today, we might not make it out alive. Like, that's how much passionate like these Nepalese fans are.
Right.
And Bharat Kwas ran the show.
The last one.
Last one. I've played against this guy. I haven't played with him. Sandeep Rai, and he's a national team player, and I played against him, and I thought, wow, this guy understands the game really well and stuff, right? But I only found out how good he was when Nepal police team had won the league in Nepal, and they had to play against India's top team, Mohan Bagan, like legendary Indian team, and they've got like Brazilian players playing for them. and African players playing for them. They're very rich. And he was asked to play for the police team because he played for 3-star back then, and he played centre midfield for them, and he single-handedly won that game. They beat India's top team, man, like 2-0, and Sandeep Raya was just small passes, long diagonal balls, like just I was just in awe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's very good.
Yeah. Your favorite international footballer?
Favorite international professional football player? Zinedine Zidane.
Your favorite football team?
Liverpool football team.
Best football coach?
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Who is the most underrated footballer in your opinion?
Busquets.
Who's that?
Busquets.
Okay.
Barcelona centre midfielder.
Right. What is your second favorite sport other than football?
Weightlifting.
Weightlifting. Okay. One football moment that you can never forget.
Yeah, that with the national team when you're in front of 40,000 people and the national anthem goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That raises hairs on the back of your spine.
Cool. The craziest thing that has happened on the pitch when you were playing?
Oh, that's a good question. Remember when I was playing at school and I was playing for a local team. We were playing against this team, a Colombian team. A fight broke out and one of the boys went to his bag and grabbed a gun.
Mm.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he grabbed a gun. I was gone. I was just like...
Was there a massive fight after?
Luckily, things calmed down, but that was crazy.
Yeah. The proudest moment for you?
Football related.
Mm.
I think my involvement with Fulham, because I know that made my mum and dad they saw a son who was like aspiring to be involved in a professional setup from a very young age and never really quite got there, and he completed that ambition.
Yeah. So. Cool. Describe in one word, how did it feel to hear the cheers of your supporters on the field?
What, from all two of them? I experienced that crowd stuff in Nepal because we had 40,000 people.
How would you describe in one word?
In one word, awesome.
Awesome. Okay, that's the end of the rapid fire question. What has been your biggest challenge so far, and what did you do to deal with it? Related.
I think when I lost my grandfather, that was a big challenge because I grew up with my grandmother and my grandfather, and so I think up to that point I had no reason to cry in my life. I had a pretty decent life, and so when I lost someone that and this grandfather had this look in his eye like his grandson was the best thing ever, and to lose someone like that who thought so highly of you, right? It was hard. So that was a big challenge.
I'm sure it had huge impact on your life from that moment moving forwards.
Yeah, it did. It really highlighted that death is around the corner, and and anyone could just go, So that was a big challenge.
Yeah, I know that you believe in growing and really developing yourself. What do you do every day to kind of help yourself grow? Is there a certain routine or rituals that you go through every day?
Yeah, there is. So I have an end vision, and what's important is when people set goals and stuff like that, right? What they forget is their current reality. As you should never forget your current reality. So you have your end vision, end result. You find your current reality, and then you have to bridge it. There has to be a bridge from your current reality to your end vision. And so I focus on the emotion that I would get when I feel my end result, really get the emotion driving my end result, and then tune into my bridge, what's going to be the link from me to come out of this position to go into the end vision.
Okay, cool. That's very interesting because that's sort of the things that I'm actually practicing it myself.
Good.
So raising your vibration to match, your end result and how it feels to be.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, man. It works.
Yeah, that's cool. What are you up to at the moment? I know you're doing. You're working as a sports physiotherapist. Is there anything else you're doing, or any project that's coming up?
I think I'm still working towards my end vision, and and like I've been quite vague about like what being inspired in Nepal and stuff, but there's a few details that you must keep close to yourself, like and I am working towards that every day, so yeah, it's constantly my end vision. That's the biggest project, I think.
Okay, so it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Constantly.
What's the best advice you've received so far? It can be from your coaches or your parents or friends.
Be you, because everyone else is taken.
Be you, because everyone else is taken.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate that?
So, just be yourself.
Okay, just be yourself.
Be yourself, because you can't be like someone else, because they're already doing themselves.
Okay, that makes sense. If you had to give some advice to a young football player who's looking to grow, not just in terms of technical skill, but in terms of their fitness and their mentality, what would you tell them?
I'll probably like just re-emphasize on trying to get a bigger vision for his footballing dreams than just becoming a football player, and because that vision is powerful, man. It gives you energy, and to illustrate that point, there's a friend of mine who's she was getting married, right, and she needed to fit into this
Perfect bride.
Yeah, the gown, right, and so her wedding dress, and her and apparently they did the fit, and she did her exercise and nutrition stuff, and when she went back to that wedding dress, like she had lost too much weight, they had to fit it again, right? And I saw it with my own eyes. So her body's changing every week, and that's when I realized actually her vision wasn't to lose weight. Her vision was to look amazing for her husband, look amazing for the occasion.
Right.
And so the wedding was the bigger vision, wasn't it? Not just losing weight.
Yeah.
So I would say this to the football players, that like really have something that like an emotion that really drives your goal. Like what would it mean? And the nice cars and all that will come like that, but that shouldn't be your motivation, right? Like you could almost imagine like you becoming a professional footballer and drive that emotion. Like what would it be like to be that footballer?
Okay.
And drive that emotion to your fitness. Because these guys know, man, we have so much stuff on Instagram and Facebook and people doing this for fitness and that for strength and this technique and stuff. But what they're missing out is that emotion that drives behind it.
Yeah. There's a guy called Simon Sinek. Have you heard of him? He's like a coach, a mentor. He talks about leadership and things like that. And you can watch his videos on TED Talks and things like that. And he always talks about his main philosophy is always start with why.
Yeah.
That should be the main core why, and then how, and then what and then how. So it starts with.
I've seen that structure. Why. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very similar to what you're saying. Just know why you're starting something or why you want to be a football player.
Yeah, I think there's so many motivational like speakers out there who say, hey, do this, do that, and I mean, if you don't have any soul and into what you're doing, it's going to feel soulless.
What do you see yourself doing in 5 years' time? Would you be still doing what you're doing, or
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing what I'm doing in 5 years' time.
Yeah, but you'll be working on your vision as well.
Yeah. You have to allow some space for like magic to happen, as they say, right? So like, I don't want to go, right, I want to be doing this in 5 years' time, and the universe might have something bigger for me, right? It's a bit like, say, I had a friend, he wanted to get, his end result was to get like a Volkswagen car, right? And he was working towards it. Whereas you should leave that bit empty, just work towards a car, because the universe might have an Aston Martin wait for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
so like in my 5 years, I'm doing the same thing. I want to work towards something specific, but also I'm just going to leave some space empty to go into the unknown, and let's see what. Because a lot of the things that's happened to me in life, like I've never planned it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's come to me,
So we are. I think we're in a way control freaks. So we try and control every situation, every circumstances.
And
it has to be that way.
yeah, and you know, it's when you can actually ride the waves of like chaos. It's actually fun. It's
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What are you most grateful for?
I'm more grateful for, at the moment, my 2 little nieces. Like they are the most meaningful thing to me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of the interview.
Okay.
Can you tell our audience how they can get in touch with you if they have any questions?
Well, I'm on social media. Yeah, so you can catch me on Facebook. Just drop me a message, and I always reply.
Yeah.
You know, and through my work, I've got to meet a lot of like-minded people, and I mean it. I don't want to be a lone wolf. This is why it's important for us to work together. We have the same vision.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Obviously, I'm going to put your link on the comment section so that people can just go to the link. But no, thanks for being on our show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really had fun. Hope you enjoyed it too.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
We hope to sit down with you soon again in the future.
Sure.
Like we always say, it's all about the journey, and I wish you all the best on yours.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thanks for being. Hey, thanks for watching the videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'd love to hear from you guys and your feedback, so just leave a comment below for any suggestion, tips, or guest requests. But if this is your first time here, then do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your love and support, and I'll see you next week.